Hello and welcome to episode 4 of my mini tutorial of the art of buying, selling gold and silver coin / bars. So in today's tutorial I'm going to talk about selling. I've actually pre-prepared something today because I tried recording this yesterday and I got it slightly wrong, to my annoyance, considering the video was like 20 minutes long. It won't be as long today because I've pre-prepared it. So selling. How does this include the rest of the tutorial that I've already spoke about? So one, you've got your web of contacts. 2, the price spectrum. 3, price givers versus price takers. Takers, givers. Now, the amount of contacts you have determines whether you will be a price giver or a price taker. So if you have little to no contacts, you will always be a price taker. So no contacts equals price taker. These are the type of people that, so you'll be buying from big dealers and you'll be relying on a spot play. Or you will be a collector. So bear in mind that this video is not great for everyone. Some people simply like to collect and they don't intend on selling, which is perfectly fine. We've all got our own way of dealing with our own stack / collection. So people with lots of contacts, it is a spectrum. So lots of contacts. They will find a way to be. So the no contacts will be a price taker from both sides, from buy and sell. So people with lots of contacts will try and be a price giver when buying and a price giver when selling. So and I will go through this a bit more. So essentially, when you come to sell, if you include it on the price spectrum, so number 2, I've actually covered number 3 by mistake. This is number 3. So if you go to number 2, if you include it on the price spectrum, so you will have, say, your scrappers, your cash for golds. So scrappers are slightly above them. I do not like the cash for gold people. You've got the big dealers, the small dealers, then you've got the social media, and eBay. So this is the price spectrum. So when you come to sell, you want to be going this way. You want to get as much money as possible. eBay is a strange one because of the fees. So I found that you can get most money from eBay on the special deals. eBay probably is in between this box here. So it is a spectrum. So my plan is to sell via social media. So if I'm selling to small dealers, I tend to trade with these guys. I don't deal with big dealers. I don't buy from them. Scrappers, cash for gold can sod off. I've got no time for them. I don't agree with what they do. They serve a purpose, but I think in the day and age of the internet, you shouldn't be selling for such ridiculous prices. Everyone can make a bit of money along the chain and you don't need to remove the whole link. So I saw some of them buy for like 85% of gold, which is it's just rude more than anything. So you may be thinking, okay, well, I've got my web of contacts. I understand the price spectrum. I'm kind of getting the price givers versus price takers, but I'm not sure how it relates to what I buy. So I've actually pre-prepared a grid for you. This is what I got wrong yesterday. So on this side of the quadrant, you've got the buy side. On this side, you have the sell side. So price giver, price giver. So your price giver on the buy side and your price giver on the sell side. Price giver on the buy side, price taker on the sell side. Price taker on the buy side, price giver on the buy side, and price taker on both of these. So if you're someone who has no contacts and you want little fuss, you will be in this quadrant here. So let's run through examples. So when you will be a price taker will be when you deal with the big dealers. So you go up, they will have an online shop and the price is the price. There's very few occasions where you can phone them up and negotiate a trade with them. I've tried it with several of them, specifically in the UK. Doesn't tend to work for me. So I find that I can be a price giver when I deal with family dealers, small dealers such as myself, social media. So on the price giver on the sales side, again, it will be on your social media platform, the smaller dealers who've got bills to pay, they're happy to do a trade with you. And to be a price taker, you'll be, well, you can be on social media for price takers, but it all depends on what you're selling. So you will also be a price taker when you sell back to the big dealers, the Cash for Gold. So if you see the spectrum here, so you're a price taker for pretty much this bit here, and you're a price giver for this bit within reason, depending on the type of coin you have. So let's get it down to the buy side. So you'll be a price taker on new releases. Now I'm going to take this example here. Two Dragons, it's a fantastic coin. It goes in this quadrant. You are a price taker. You have to pay one of the prices that is on the spectrum depending on the different dealers that you go to, but they won't be able to move on price. They have a differential in price due to their unique set of circumstances, i.e. their purchasing power or their web of contacts, etc. So you'll be a price taker because you pay what you're told. You can be a price giver on this because over time these types of coins fluctuate a lot. They're not linked to spot price. So if you've bought, say, 100 in, say you bought 100 of the dragons, 2 dragons, and the price goes up by £10. So say you paid 20, price goes up to 30. You can be a price giver in the sense that the spread will be this, and you can sell anywhere along that line. You will set, if you're dumping 100 on the market, you will essentially set the market. Now a recent example of that is the 2007 Brits that have been dumped onto the market by someone else. So he got to set the price because he had the differential. So he had his buy price and he had the price consensus, which I spoke about in the prior video, and he just picks his mark. So he is the price giver. He dictates where it goes. So let's talk about being a price taker on both sides. So if you're buying, say, a sovereign, you buy from a bullion dealer, you sell to a bullion dealer, you are essentially relying on a spot play. So this section here is pretty much a spot play. And anything can be lumped into this section if you sell back to a dealer, because the dealer will always treat it like a spot play. So they will see an ounce for an ounce and they will offer you they will offer you what the intrinsic metal value is. I don't agree with that. I think it's wrong, and I think it's a bad way to do business. I think it's greedy. So, for example, this here, if you buy from a dealer and you sell it to a big dealer, it will move over and it becomes a spot play. You don't want to be on this side. You don't want to be the guy with no contacts. You want to be the guy who has a few contacts or a few ways of selling. Also on this side is your new release bullion. So you're talking your Maples, your Brits, your Eagles, etc. And I need to see if I have... let's go for this. 100 gram bar. Let's put it down the bottom. Now you buy from a dealer, you sell to a dealer, but also you have to be a price taker, because 100 gram bar is a 100 gram bar. There's not much variance in it, and it's a very competitive market. So the more competitive the market on the sell side, it doesn't matter if it's via dealers, social media, etc. The more competitive the market, the more likely you are to be a price taker. Now, there's nothing wrong with these types of coins. Like, these store wealth. These have a better fluctuation within the silver spot price. Nothing wrong with these. They do serve a purpose. But if you're the type of guy that has little to no contacts, old girl, you probably want to be buying these. It's a little fuss. If you've got no contacts, I'd go for this as well. It's probably a safer bet for you. Now let's go to the buyer side again, and price giver. So like I spoke about on the price spectrum and being a price giver and price taker, you will be able to use your skills to negotiate to get a better price. Now let's give you some examples. So I bought this from a dealer. This is a Proof Half 2005. I was a price giver, and I can be a price giver within reason when I come to sell it. If I sell via social media, small dealers, eBay, etc. Anything that gives me a platform where I can negotiate, fine. You've also got stuff like this, coloured coins. Now these I bought for a song in the middle of nowhere. I was able to negotiate, so I was a price giver because he'd had these in stock since they'd come out. They were in his warehouse. He couldn't get rid of them, so I pot shotted him, I think is probably the correct term. He didn't have a problem. He's got rid of stock he couldn't sell. I got them for a fantastic price, but I can set the price because there's not many of them about. Within reason, as long as I don't take the biscuit, people will think it's fair. I think I ended up selling these for 36 each, and I think I saw them on eBay for £50. But I was the price giver. I could have chose anywhere on this spectrum here, so I could have put up the top and I would have sold a few. And the more I go down the spectrum, the more I sell. So you have to make a decision on if you want the high profit or if you want to shift them all. I tend to go with, I try and shift most of them. You know, other dealers want to shift them all. Other dealers they want a slow turnaround. You know, that's not a problem. So another example where you can be a price giver and on both the buy and the sell side is backdated semi-Numi coins. Like this. Where there's a fluctuation in the price, you can certainly get the price down on these. So if you go to a small family dealer or a small dealer, they've probably bought this way back when. They've probably forgotten they have it, you know, and it's been stuck in their warehouse and they just want to get rid of it. They see an opportunity to liquidate. They don't have to wait for a collector to come along. You're essentially, in this environment, you're a matchmaker. So usually I'll have someone lined up. I bought these for my long term. So, and also in this section will be the items you can trailblaze. So for me, that's the silver notes. Some people love these, some people absolutely loathe them. I think they're the next big thing. I've seen all the mints pick them up where they weren't before. Let's put that there. Now finally, on the buy side, you've got price giver, and on the sell side, you've got the price taker. Well, to some small extent, it is gold bullion, where you can negotiate like I have. That's a small extent. I'm going to put a gram on there. I think a gram is a better example. And also old release semi-numi coins. This can be on both. So if you're sourcing it, you're going to have more leeway. So if you're sourced to order, you can tend to agree a price. If you're sitting on it, it will be over here. So it can be an either. I hope people understand that this grid is transient. It's not a case of Sean says it's this, and so it can be in. So for example, this one, like I said earlier, can be in this and this. However, let's take the coins off. When it becomes, say, 10 years old, it can be in this or this as well. So it's not a case of, oh, that's the type of coin that goes in there. You need to have as many strategies in your toolbox, or as many tools in your toolbox, to help you sell your coins when you come to sell them. So it can actually be in all of them. So, right, let's take these off. Let's get a bit clogged up. So, yes, this is how to sell. Now, one of the major things I want to add is you don't want to be here. When you are a price taker on both the buy side and the sell side, all the profit is being handed over to the other person. So you're the bottom rung of the ladder. You want to be here. You want to push. You want to learn some skills. You want to push it up, and you want to be here. It's more work, but it's more money. You know, like when I go to my job, it's work. I get paid for it. You know, when I sell coins, it's work, but I get paid for it. And the more sophisticated my skills have become, the more money I've made from buying and selling coins, like any other profession that you do. So ideally, you want to be here. You want to be in a position where you can negotiate on the buy and the sell. You also want to be in a position where you're fair enough and people will come to you to respect the values that you give. Now, it's okay to be here. So I don't mind being here. And the things where I don't mind being here is, I'll give you a very good example. This is where I negotiate on people's behalves. And it's also my savings pot. So I will save in salts, because I know I can buy enough of a discount. Okay, it's not a huge discount, but it's enough of a discount that if I need to liquidate, I got enough room to sell and walk away, break even. And sometimes you do want to be here as well. So the more skilled you get, that's where you want to be. You don't want to be here. So most contacts, least contacts. So this is on the sell side. On the buy side, you want to be here. by side. So most contacts, least contacts. You know, I hope this doesn't go over anyone's head. I took a long time in trying to figure out how to actually put this down so people would understand it. It is probably the simplest way I could put down quite a complex topic that I've had to learn myself. So bear in mind that I do have a master's degree in business, but I specialise in business strategy. So if I can put it down simply, then great. If I can't, then people are more than welcome to ask me for advice on any part of this quadrant. So anyway, I hope you like, subscribe, and take care, guys. And I look forward to uploading the next video soon.